paper magic will survive like the heat death of the universe, and will...
Oh, it's a smuggler's copter. Would you like to crew this? And then it crashes because they don't understand arithmetic.
All your cards belong to me.
2 minutes into macing him in the eyeballs, I switched to pepper spray. He's like, it's all right, refreshing. And went back to the mace.
Magic is dying. I'm done. Selling everything.
I might be a hoarder. And yes,
I don't have the crayons or glue to explain this to you right now.
What, are you gonna die twice?
Oil will be worthless before magic cards will.
well, okay, Dr. Man.
That's Mr. Dr. Professor Jason.
Hello, everybody. Welcome in to Brainstorm Brewery. The three of us here tonight, myself, Jason, and Cass, we have all seen Dune, making us
Dune 2.
the Duners.
Okay,
The
Dooner.
Duners. We're actually the Doonesburys. We're a lightly satirical political cartoon.
Dune was amazing. We'll leave it at
I
that.
called dibs on Tank McNamara next week.
What does that mean?
That's a vaguely satirical comic about some guy named Tank McNamara. But it was in like the want ads or like the sports section. It wasn't in the regular comic section. It was weird.
The comic section of
fun
what,
fact.
Jason? The internet?
No, the fucking newspaper, old man.
You worked at a newspaper.
And then
you
I
worked
stopped.
at a newspaper.
And then I stopped. But yes, I did. The printing presses were right there. For real.
It was in the
I did
funny
work at a
pages,
newspaper.
Corbin.
Well, it was in the want ads, but those are the funny pages.
Those
Like,
are kind of
you
the
want a
funny pages
master's
in their
degree
own
in
way.
5 years experience for $38,000 a year? That's fucking hilarious. But they're not joking.
Yeah, well, America. But this is not America. This is Brainstorm Brewery, where things are much less.
We're a
In
sovereign
what
nation.
way is this not America?
We're a sovereign nation, actually.
Mm-hmm.
This
This
is
is a
a
brewery.
capitalism-fueled podcast. What's more American than a podcast fueled by capitalism? Brought to you by
Hot Dogs
Original
on
Magic
Guns.
Cards. Who sponsors us?
Hot Dogs on Guns. That's more American.
Dropout.tv?
Dropout doesn't sponsor us. You sponsor them.
That is true.
You know who does
You're one of
sponsor us?
11 people giving them $48 a year.
Who does sponsor
You know what?
us?
If they've got one fan, I am still alive.
If Dropout TV has 0 fans,
It means that I am dead and the world is a better place.
Sponsor us, Dropout TV.
ooh, oh, that's good.
What kind of beer is that, Jason?
It is a Founders CBS. Stands for Canadian Breakfast Stout. It is an imperial stout brewed with chocolate and coffee aged in maple syrup and bourbon barrels.
Sounds great. I'm having a vintage tap water.
Tap water?
With a side of
Aged in
Dayquil.
a quart container.
You don't have like a reverse osmosis system or like a fridge filter or Brita or anything? You're just
I
drinking
just do
water
tap
out of the
water.
tap? What?
Yeah, during the summer it kind of tastes like algae, and that's fine.
Haven't you
Look.
ever read anything about water?
No, I intentionally don't. Ignorance is very blissful.
I see you two out here trying to derail from the important question I was trying to ask with the Dune intro to the podcast. Did you
Doing
get...
two chicks at the same time. Am I right, brother?
Hell yeah, those chicks
Hell
eat
yeah,
Brady's
brother.
nuts.
Raise hail, praise Dale.
I've never heard that. Holy shit.
This is my Quizak, this is my Hatterack.
What I want to know is if you got the Dune bucket.
No.
No, I did
You
not get
know
to
the
do
one.
$40.
You know the one.
Because I like to cut a hole in the popcorn bucket and put my dick in it and have my date reach in, and no one's going to reach into like a sandworm's mouth like that.
It's true.
Okay.
It'd be foolish to reach your hand into the maw of Shahilud.
I
What's inside this popcorn bucket? Pain.
I
If
also
you remove
did not
your
get a
hand, I'll
bucket.
kill you.
However, next month, this month, I guess now, Ghostbusters comes out, and we are buying the special popcorn bucket for that one.
What's a special
I-
popcorn bucket for Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, or whatever it's called?
I saw that trailer and became physically ill. That's actually the reason I'm sick today.
They brought back Dickless to be the foil again. That's amazing. He's like, I don't work at the EPA anymore. Now I'm concerned with you putting a bunch of Stranger Things kids on the outside of a ghost fighting car.
All right, you ready for this, Jason?
Yeah.
It's a classic Slimer. The bucket. You reach into his
Okay,
mouth.
so I will admit to being such a Ghostbusters fan back in the 1980s. I went to Hardee's and ate the Ghostbusters green slime sundae they had at Hardee's.
I used to drink the high C Ghostbusters stuff, and there's
Everybody
no way that
drank
was good.
Ecto Cooler.
Yeah, dude.
You two are such nostalgia cucks.
Yeah, I know. But look,
Really?
okay, that's all that's left in the world. All right.
Nostalgia could get me back in a Hardee's. That's all I haven't been in a Hardee's on purpose for 30 years, and you can get me back inside one.
I've actually thought about this. Like, my nostalgia for things is like directly, and excitement for when they revive something that should be left dead or whatever, is directly correlated with who's involved in it. So, like, Ghostbusters, original writers, original creative team behind it, like, you know, they made the fourth one. They got the original people back just to honor Harold Ramis, like third one, depending on how you look at it, I guess. Like, to me, that's cool. Like, when they redid when they did Jurassic World, they had one person who was just like a Jurassic Park super fan who had a whole vision for the entire thing, and whatever people think of them.
He's like, I'm going to make the same movie three
Well,
times.
look,
And then
man,
he
whatever
did.
whatever people think of it, it was there. But then look at something like, say, Star Wars, right, which is something we all like in theory.
Nope.
And then they just
Don't put
it was
words
such
in
a
my
shit.
mouth.
I said in theory, it's the general us. Like, it was, you know, they did what they did with all the movies, and it was just kind of meh, right? And now
I mean,
I'm not excited for more of that. What I am excited
talk
for
about
is
enjoying
yeah.
having super fans on set. They had Patton Oswalt on the set of Book of Boba Fett, and look what happened.
Well, that's just, I haven't watched
He's like,
that
hey,
one.
what if this was just more Mandalorian? And they're like, oh my God, Patton, you're a fucking genius.
Well, that's
Thanks.
what I think.
Check me out in
yeah.
Ghostbusters Frozen Empire in theaters in June 15th or whatever.
It's
I don't know when it
March.
comes out.
It was not a bad impression for like 3 seconds there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man, I can do a pudgy comic, turns out.
So that's just where I come in on it. So the point is, I'm excited about Ghostbusters. Okay, it's gonna be great.
I'm excited because Busted makes me feel good.
I'm a certified hater
Of Ghostbusters or Star Wars? Or both?
All of the
of
above.
remakes and Star Wars. So, no Dune spoilers here. None of that here. Watching Dune Part 2 made me realize that if we ever had a good adaptation of Dune prior to now, Star Wars would be dead in the water. No one would have cared. It's just so much worse of a story at its base. And I was a Star Wars fan for a long time, and I still kind of am, but like, man, nothing interesting happens in any of those movies.
They're a lot flashier.
What about when the dude makes out with his sister?
They're a lot
That was the
flashier
best
than
part.
Dune. There's a lot of bright lights and explosion. Like, there's a
They
much
should have made
more
him
vibrant
step siblings
colors.
so they could bang, right? Am I the only one who thinks that?
That's in the
Am I
next.
the only one that
That's
thinks
they're gonna have to
step
retcon that.
siblings? And Leia should have got her arm stuck in the trash compactor on the Death Star.
This is now Jason's fanfic hour.
Yeah. Like,
What are you doing, Step Stormtrooper? Aren't you a little big for a stormtrooper?
They're actually called step troopers, and they run on ellipticals.
Well, how would the artificial gravity on the Death Star work? Is it like a sphere
It's got to spin. It's
where
gotta be
everything's
spinning.
rings, or is it like
It should be spinning.
tiers of flat levels? How does
I think
Tiers
it's
of
like
flat.
the
Listen,
Death
it's
Star?
tiers of flat levels, and the whole station is spinning.
No, it's not spinning though.
But it's supposed
not
to be.
artificial gravity.
It's-
How would you aim the fucking laser if it had to spin for gravity?
There's like controlled artificial gravity in each individual room. I'm guessing.
That's even worse. Like, scientifically, your space stations should be spinning to create.
Yes, we've all seen
artificial
2001: A Space Odyssey, Corbin.
gravity. No, we haven't, Jason.
I'll be
came out
honest,
in
I just watched the part with
1982.
the gorillas, and then I'm out. It's
I've
just
never
like no
seen that
longer, it
movie,
just-
man. No one.
Too
one's
long.
seen
That's
that
the movie Planet of the Apes that you're describing. It did have astronauts in
No.
it, so good guess.
No, 2001: A Space Odyssey starts with like 45 minutes of just like gorillas pounding on their chests in front of an obelisk.
It's 45 seconds.
Well, Jason,
You should
you're
just
melting a
die.
glacier right now with your carbon footprint.
I'm not Taylor Swift, bud.
Your footprint is in that glacier, melting it a little at a time.
Well, look, I figure there were 3 people in China that'll never have enough money to even leave the village where they were born and have to sew soccer balls together. So really, on the average, the 4 of us don't have that big of a carbon footprint.
Good point.
Right? So...
Yeah. No, you're for sure.
No lies.
Who's got a breaking bulk?
Breaking bulk time. Breaking bulk time. Break.
Oh, yeah, breaking bulk. There's so much good stuff.
It's a pick. Breaking bulk. The end.
Let's really
I gotta
this
break in.
podcast.
Breaking. Well,
I don't
listen.
think you guys are going to get this one. My card is from Cold Snap.
Oh, this is one of my favorite sets.
Oh.
Go on, Jason.
Okay. Well, it is a Cold Snap uncommon black card.
Grim Recovery or
No, that's common.
Oh, it's a common.
The one that searches your library.
This does not search your library.
The one that
The one that destroys a snowland?
Nope. This is $1.29 and it is sold out on various websites at over $1.
For $1? There are some screaming teenagers outside of my building, so I apologize. If
And
you
it's-
hear
it's-
Yeah,
that.
they're screaming the name of this card. Because they're embarrassed that you love this set, but you haven't got this black
uncommon
enchantment.
It's not the Surge one. It's an enchantment?
It's an enchantment. It is an aura. That's how embarrassed I am for both of you. I'm gonna wrap this up and
Is
tell
it
you.
the crown?
No,
no one knows that, man.
I don't know the aura.
this is over $1.
Well, as of like a week ago or always.
I don't.
Is
know.
it snow?
I should go. It is snow.
Is it like transfiguration or something?
Oh shit! Wow,
Is it
rhyme
transformation or
transfusion.
transfiguration?
Rhyme
I don't know what the
transfusion.
card does, but I do know that the card was like not particularly good and limited.
Enchanted creature gets +2/+1 and has pay a snow. This creature can't be blocked this turn except by snow creatures. That doesn't seem bad in limited. That seems quite good in limited.
Well, there were
Unless
a lot of snow creatures.
They have snow creatures. Yeah,
What's it
but,
called?
like,
Rhyme
the only
what?
limited you're going to play this in is a chaos draft where nobody has any snow creatures, and you just like.
What is this
I'll
called?
have you know that I love drafting Cold Snap. I have several boxes of it that I won at Winna boxes at GPs back then.
I played a back then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cold Snap was a legit set, and that was probably when I was at my peak of limited prowess.
Yeah. What is the name of the card?
Rhyme Transfusion.
Transfusion. All right.
And I think people are going to play this in Tiny Bones decks, and I think that because they are already. New Tiny Bones, the Thunder Junction Tiny Bones. Tiny Bones and Pickpocket. Yeehaw! I'm Mr. Bones. I got regular bones. Everybody has a cowboy hat in this stupid ass set. Fibble Fip has a hat.
What do you got against
like
hats,
a big
Jason?
10-gallon hat.
Oh, what do you have against hats, man?
You know what's lit about this set? The full art basics.
Is it committing a crime?
The full art basics in the set are phenomenal, and I'm just like, stop doing full art basics.
No, they're not going to do that.
I do like that Nathan Stoyer's card commits crimes.
When
Or
I was in
cares about
Chicago,
committing
we didn't
crimes.
know what committing a crime was, so we all just said it was touching somebody's cards without asking.
Which is not that far off.
I mean, I was in a pod with Andy when I said that. I wasn't like picking on him in absentia.
We'll finish Breaking Bulk, but then I want to talk about something. I just thought of something good.
All right. I'm going to
Right in
hop
the
in.
show notes.
I'm going to hop in here.
I'm only
This'll-
kidding. We don't do that here, and we never have, and it's been 10 years, and at this point, are we just going to suddenly develop professionalism? Fuck no, we're not.
I'm staring at the show notes right now. All right. Kamigawa Neon Dynasty Red Common. Go. Should be easy.
Synthesizer?
It was going to be hard for Jason. Easy for Cass, though. Experimental
I played a lot of
synthesizer.
Oni Cold Anvil.
Yeah, it's really fun. I really liked this set. This was kind of a pandemic set, but it's got
it was a
really
little
cool
bit of
stuff.
a pandemic set, but also I bought cases of this set because I was
Right.
like,
Yeah.
I was still doing that, and I opened a bunch of boxes on I probably tore up $200 worth of farewells on camera. So like, if you went to the Brainstorm Brewery Twitch and watched me open up packs, you saw that.
The good news for you is they're probably worth a lot less now because it's in every single set.
True, and every Commander Precon with different art. That's the new every of
If
these
I could
universes beyond.
extirpate one card from reality, I would do it to farewell. Search everybody's deck and remove it from.
But see, it's funny because other people feel that way about every Omnath you've ever loved.
That's
even
not
the
true.
mono green one.
Everyone hated the mono green one back when it was a thing.
No one has
hated
ever
it?
said anything bad about the Teamer one or the red green one.
They call
The Teamer one's super fine. It's like how
the
many
Teamer
Elementals
one
do you
is
have in your deck?
actually the
I don't
Teamer
know.
one is the Teamer one is fine. The red green
The
one
red green one costs
is
7.
good. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
They call it Angry Omnath.
You do,
It's-
and then
it's a
you throw
precon card.
Elemental Mastery on it, and then you make a shitload of money on Elemental Mastery because it was 8 years ago and finance used to be easy.
Well, okay, that is where I was at. Cass, why don't you go? Or Jason, that. Let me try.
My breaking bulk this week might be easy to get, might be hard to get. We'll see. It's a Lost Caverns of Ixalan Black Uncommon.
Get the fuck out of here.
Wait, I think someone might have actually picked this one recently.
It's the bat. Is it
No,
the
no one's
bat?
picked it recently. It's not the bat.
Is it?
You know, I wanted
the
to
long?
give you shit
Is it long
for picking a
goodbye?
recent set, but this actually isn't on the most recent sets on EDH Rec. It's already spun
Long
off.
Goodbye is in
Is it
Murders
long-
at Karlov Manor.
Oh, not that. What set are we? All right, one more time then.
Lost Caverns of Ixalan Black
Oh, yeah, that-
Uncommon.
Oh, and it wasn't the bat. Shit.
Bitter Triumph.
Yep, Bitter Triumph.
Oh yeah. The
Cards
is a Phoenix
like-
card.
Almost $2. It's a Phoenix card. It's a standard Reanimator card. It's a
It's a silly magic card.
maybe a Death Shadow card. I'm not actually sure.
It's pretty good. I really like the innovation. Bitter Triumph, for people who don't know, it's a 2 mana as an additional cost. Pay 3 life or discard a card, and then destroy target creature or planeswalker. No restrictions there. So the discard, if it's a Phoenix, pretty good in your Grixis Phoenix deck. Now, whether or not that's the version of the deck you want to play, seems to be meta dependent, but that is it is a cool use of the card for sure.
All right. Let's talk about some drama not in Magic today.
Ooh, let's hear it, Cass.
Ooh.
In the top 4 of the Utrecht special event Pokemon event, Pokemon's Paulo Vitor Rosa type, one of the greatest players of all time. He had a thing where his opponent played like what is effectively a Thoughtseize, and he just like was laughing with his opponent. He threw his hand down on camera, and the community was like, "This is so rude. Table decorum is at the lowest it's ever been." And I can't help but think about how the best Pro Tour moment since COVID started was Christian Calcano throwing his Ulamog across the table. And this is me kind of on some boomer shit, but like, we need more showmen in Magic.
No, you're right. That was.
I've been
a
saying
great
Mike
moment.
Long for Hall of Fame.
No.
whole
We don't need
time.
heels.
Hall
We
of Fame
need
doesn't
showmen.
exist. Hall of Fame doesn't exist anymore.
Was
by the way,
Mike Long
Jason.
not a showman?
No, he's a cheater.
Also, Hall of Fame
Actually, is what
exists
he was.
exactly enough for people to get one invite a year, if I'm not mistaken.
The people who are in the Hall of Fame get one invite a year. The people who are not in the Hall of Fame but want to be in the Hall of Fame are going to have to hope the Hall of Fame comes back.
Darwin Castle is allowed to play in the same number of Pro Tours per year for free as Luis Scott Vargas. Those players have accomplished the same things in Magic.
No, that's not true. LSV never won the player championship, so there's no LSV card the way there is Avalanche Rider.
Good point, Jason.
That is a good point. I agree. It's not often I hear somebody on this podcast say that.
Luis has never picked me up at the bus station and given me a ride.
Luis Scott Vargas
DK
never wrote
gave
an
you
article
a
teaching
ride
Magic players how to
somewhere?
date.
Do what? Darwin did.
That's fucking rad, dude.
I was working their weird Star Realms show. He was involved.
Oh. Have you played Star Realms, Corbin?
Not in the past 7 years or whatever, but I played the shit out of it when I was getting paid to work their show.
It was pretty
fun.
fun.
Yeah.
I still play it. It's a good deck building game.
I liked
I just
it.
hate deck builders these days. I
Well,
don't know
that
why.
was back when everybody was playing what's his name? What was that game?
Ascension.
Yeah, Ascension. And it's like, you gotta kill the cultists and disassemble the thing. And then Star Realms is like, they have a life total. Just shoot them with spaceships until they're dead. It's a good game.
Star Realms really was like, let's strip down all the stupid bullshit about deck builders and try and make a good game. And they really nailed it.
Yeah, I played a lot of it on my phone, but I haven't thought about it. And
I just supported their recent Kickstarter, so I'm going to get a bunch more Star Realms cards in the mail.
They still
I
exist?
Cannot wait.
That's sweet.
It's sick. It's one of my favorite games. I love it.
Holy.
And I'm not just saying that because I was in the Kickstarter video.
Let's see.
It's one of my favorite games. I love it. I'm Jason Alt. Endorsement. Sponsors.
Oh, yeah. Do they want to sponsor it? Man.
That would be sick. We are sponsored by Cthulhu Realms, the less good but still playable, especially if you understand Star Realms game from Wise Wizard Games.
Yeah, why don't
the
they
people
just...
that brought you Hero Realms and Star Realms and Cthulhu Realms and Realms.
Don't forget Epic, the card game Epic.
How could you forget Epic? It's epic.
I'm Cass Lynn of Brainstorm Brewery, and I'm here to endorse a hot new product today. A game from the mind behind Magic the Gathering, Richard Garfield. It's, what was that deck?
Keyforge!
Keyforge! It's called
Rally?
Keyforge! One of our disgruntled employees will delete our randomization algorithm one day, and the game will be dead for a couple of years. Uh-oh! You know about that, Jason?
Is
You heard
Richard
about
Garfield intended? I'm sick of people adding cards to their decks in their trading card game. I want people to buy a deck, open it, play with it, lose because 2 of their rares are laces, and then go buy a new deck. People adding shit to their decks and having them be not 5 colors is bullshit. I'm Richard Garfield, and Keyforge is how I intended Magic to be played. You open up a pre-con, and sometimes the cards in it are bad, but we wrote down everything that's in it, and you can't change it. It's Keyforge.
I don't know if this is like an official tagline for the game, but every person who tried to sell me on it was like, it's not a trading card game. It's a trading deck game.
I mean, if that was their selling point, you don't have to buy individual cards. Isn't that annoying?
I didn't play Keyforge.
The day that game released, I bought a deck to f*** around with, and someone thought the deck I had was really good, offered me $220 for it. I said, yes, please. Bought another deck, and then never played it.
Looks like you did all right, though.
MTG Finance.
I've never even
keep
flipped a
Forge
Magic
Finance.
Limited deck for $220. That's pretty sick. And that's a game people play.
Yeah. Well, speaking of people playing Magic, let's talk about Fallout because people
let's
are
talk
going to be
about Fallout.
people
How
are going to
much
be playing
time
Fallout.
do we have for me to talk about Fallout?
Well, we have a little bit of time, so let's
there
just
are
start.
52 new legendary creatures.
Let's start
in
with
this
what
set.
you're
Can I
what
talk
you're
about
interested
all
in.
of them?
No, but let's start
Alphabetical,
with
let's go.
the ones you do like the most. Give us a top 5 or so.
Oh, well, outside of like the named commanders from like the sets, like the ones that are like, hey, I dare you to build a non-precon around this. I think Elder Maxon is pretty sweet.
Yep.
Like encouraging people to be in non-green token decks is rad, and like as much as Maxon is like a super fascist.
Well, does it have rad in it?
It's a pretty lit Magic the Gathering card.
You said it was rad, but does it have rad counter?
It doesn't have rads.
That's my favorite mechanic.
But you can sack another creature to make him indestructible, which is very Elder Maxon.
My favorite
Also-
mechanic in the set is that there's a card named Cass.
Yeah. That's
Trying
true.
to find
Cass
it
is a companion.
No, that's a Doctor Who thing, Jason.
Shut up. I'll cut your face, sir.
Got him.
There's a Kellogg, and my dad worked at Kellogg, so that's cool.
It's like they made the set for you.
No, Kellogg gains control of creatures. You sack 5 treasure you just buy one of their creatures. How cool is that? Like, honestly, I really thought I was a Simic player, and then I went to Chicago, and I was like, I brought 6 Rakdos decks.
Jesus, dude.
And 2 Simic decks. Like, Rakdos does everything I would like to think Simic does. I'm like, no, Simic puts 1/1 counters on creatures, and you use, like, creatures that have more power than them and tap to gain control of it. Like, what could be more Simic than taking their creatures, and then all my Rakdos decks just take their creatures. Kellogg, Dangerous Mind, kind of an underwhelming fight in Fallout 4 because who wants to play the main quest? So by the time you fight Kellogg, you're super over leveled and you one-shot him. However, his magic card, you create treasure tokens when he attacks, and you can use treasure tokens to just buy their creatures. That's rules, dude. Kellogg is rad, dude. I'm into it. Nick Valentine. I'm naming all Fallout 4 stuff. People are gonna think that. Butch Deloria, Tunnel Snake.
I do like
I'm
that
joking,
one.
but Lily Bowen. That's a New Vegas. Lily Bowen. The number of counters on her doubles until you have 32 of them. That seems real cool. For like just. You take all the counters off if you have more than 16 on your upkeep, but like until then, you just have a commander that just one-shots people, and it doesn't have to do anything except live.
So that is an interesting, that is an interesting commander design.
But they picked 52 commanders, and they're all cool legendary creatures from all the Fallout games. I'm way into it. Harold and Bob got a card. How funny is that? I mean, it's not a good card, but Harold and Bob got a card.
I know how you felt during Doctor Who now because I have no clue what any of this
but
is.
I honestly think Radstorm is a card that could be playable outside of this bullshit. Like, as much as this bullshit is self-contained, and a lot of it's like, you need rad counters, so like...
Yeah.
What it has given us is like, it has brought back Voltron in a big way. With things like Strong Back that make it like super easy to just strap a ton of shit on one creature. And like, I think Storm, especially like, you know, Radstorm is cool.
Radstorm is cool.
You proliferate a ton. What could be better than that? But like, you don't even need to do the rad counter stuff. But like, if you do, it's super cool. I think Nuka-Cola Vending Machine is actually playable outside of like people that just like Fallout. So like, I think there are actually really good cards in this set, and I'm excited.
What does the vending machine do?
Probably my favorite gaming franchise.
What does the vending machine do?
Nuka-Cola Vending Machine?
Yeah.
I'll read its text to you. Create a food token by paying 1 mana and tapping it. And whenever you sack a food token, create a tap treasure token because you drink the Nuka-Cola and then the bottle cap on the Nuka-Cola is currency, and that goes in your inventory. So
interesting.
It's actually like you get a food and a treasure, which is like, unless you have Academy Manufactor, and then you just go nuts.
Yeah.
It's just like a very fair card. Feral Ghoul does not require Fallout shit to be just absurd. Vats does not require Fallout. Like, the best cards in the set do not require any Fallout mechanics. They're just like, we play well with your existing EDH deck.
Yeah, there's some of the proliferate cards that I've looked at for my XL deck, my like Abzan Phyrexian Toxic deck, right? So like any good new proliferate card, I'm always on the lookout for. And when the set came out with Phyrexia, we only got one set of Toxic stuff, right? And not a ton of proliferate and all of that. And the deck is fine, right? But it's actually you know, by virtue of what it is, not a deck I'm often going to get upgrades for. So it is cool that the Fallout stuff has a few proliferate cards that'll fit into archetypes.
But like the super Fallout-y stuff is pretty cool too. Like all the bobbleheads are good, and assembling all the bobbleheads is even better. Gary Clone, how fucking cool is Gary Clone as a card? Like if you don't care about Gary from Fallout 3, you could care about the card. It's fun. You know, there are sagas, there are a ton of legendary creatures, there are a ton of good auras, there's new lands. I wish they hadn't done any of the UB stuff and they had just given the Godzilla treatment to stuff. I still wish that they hadn't created new cards and just be like, oh, we picked 15 cards from Magic's history and we made Godzilla cards out of them. You know what I mean by Godzilla, listeners? Yeah. I mean, when they're like, they don't make a new card, they just reskin an old one like just they did with Tarmogoyf. Yeah. I wish they'd done that personally, because I don't like a million new cards, but like the stuff they made for this set, I'm going to play with it. It's good stuff. If you buy the 4 decks and play them against each other, and treat it like a board game.
I think there's a lot of that, and that's where
what I'm. People in the Fallout subreddit is like, I don't play Magic. Should I get this? I'm like, yeah, you're not gonna become a Magic junkie buying the pre-con and just sleeving it and then playing it against the other pre-cons. You could just be like, hey, this is a Fallout board game that we learned the rules to, and it's cool.
Yeah.
That's
say
what I'm recommending to people.
One thing I think that is worth noting about this set as opposed to previous Universes Beyond sets, specifically Warhammer, is there are a lot less legacy playables in this.
More.
I do like that because, I don't like ruining legacy with Orcish Bowmasters.
Well, it's actually funny because I think all the cards from Warhammer are relatively fun in Legacy. Like Moloch is cool. Chaos Defiler made Goblin Welder good again. Travis St. Catherine's like kind of obnoxious.
Yeah, St. Catherine, yeah.
That card's only good because Beans is insane.
Yeah.
And so I'm fine with all of those. It's actually weirdly it's the Modern Horizons Universes Beyond cards that like have actually been more problematic in Legacy. I kind of wish there was like one or two things in here that were. There might be a couple things like there's the card. It's like a white and a red. Reattach all your auras and equipment with split second. That card's kind of sweet.
That is an interesting.
That might be something. Colossus Hammer's a hell of a card.
Inventory management.
Yes.
Which is funny. It has split
take on that, by the way.
Yeah, I know. It's so funny. It's like, oh, I'm in a fight. Let me eat 5 cheese wheels. Like I do.
We just pause the game.
Yeah, pause the game. Pop a couple of stim packs. Switch your main weapon out and reload, and then unpause.
That was one of the biggest problems I had with like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Is every fight it was just correct to pause as often as possible. Like changing weapons with like toggling and actual fighting was just so much worse, and so like you had to either do the thing that was like the best chance of winning a fight, or just
But it
having
takes,
more fun.
Just
and
kind of
I
tedious.
think some of the best cards in the set don't really have to be Fallouty at all. Like Watchful Radstag. If it wasn't called Radstag, you wouldn't even think it was a Fallout card. It's just like a very good card. Whenever it evolves, make a copy. Like
that card's neat.
You can go absolutely ape shit with a card like that.
So
I
the thing about
pre-ordered a card.
Ooh, what is it?
I pre-ordered the cost green X when it comes into play. Destroy any number of artifacts or enchantments with mana value X or less.
Yeah, and that's another card that like it is Fallouty, but like it doesn't have to be. You can play that outside of
Well,
that's Rampaging Yalgwai, which is a mutant bear. But I mean, if you're playing Gaia's Cradle, like Rampaging Yalgwai is going to be a board wipe.
Well,
but I
can
like
also
it
just
because
green
it like
Sun Zenith for it for 0 to kill like chalices and thopters and artifact lands.
Yeah, that's sick. It's a fine Magic card, but also it kind of I don't know. I don't remember Rampaging Yalgwai destroying artifacts and enchantments in the game. I'm not really sure what's going on there, but
that's what beasts do in Magic.
It's just it's a bear mutant. It's not a beast, actually. It's a bear.
Well, I mean, if you saw a bear mutant and then someone was like, "Well, that's a beast," you would be like, "That guy is not going beast mode." You would say with a straight face.
It's a 2/2.
But that's when he's not going beast mode. When you put X, it comes with X counters, doesn't it?
Mode, yeah. You put X
when he comes in with 6 counters, that is absolutely beast mode. I would even say it's sicko mode.
I'm glad they didn't reinvent the wheel and come up with like, a mutated creature has mutation counters. It's like, no, it gets 1/1 counters. Like, let's stop around here.
I think it's
make
creature
these cards actually play with cards you already own.
Its creature type should change based on its power and toughness.
That would be a lot of rules text.
It would break Matt. You could format it pretty easily on the card. Listen, if you had
2 creatures that do that already, there was the red-white one and the green-black one. They change their creature type depending on how many level up counters you put on them.
Well, that's a different thing than just the thing about having it based on their power is that static pumping effects would break it, right? Like, but that's neither here nor there. Just something to think about. In the past, they formatted Figure of Destiny style with its activated abilities on the card, so it is something that is out there. But this goes along more with what I was saying, like with these Universes Beyond products. The benefit to not just doing reskins or whatever is that when they make the Commander precons, since they're making them for every set and there's a million sets a year, is that it hopefully is not a thing where it's fine if we get legacy cards or whatever, but I don't think their goal should be to make eternal playable cards. It should be to make a Fallout pre-con experience that feels like Fallout, and a Doctor Who one that feels like Doctor Who. And
Yeah,
if you can
honestly
actually
wish they
pull
had
that
made
off,
those
that's
cards
cool.
worse outside of the pre-cons.
Yeah, like that is sort of a thing, and like I think the Doctor Who stuff with all the time travel-y stuff, blah blah blah, it's a good thing, and I think the rad counters with Fallout, like this stuff kind of works, right? And I think that's neat. So I think that's an important part of it.
And I will say, controversially, I don't really care if the TV show's good or not. I'm going to watch every episode of it. But
Sure.
like,
Where is it on? What show? What channel?
Prime?
Okay.
I actually don't know. I'm guessing. It's on. Everything's on. Right? Like,
Good.
like what streaming service is it? It's on f***ing the streaming service. Like,
Yeah,
I
fair
pay for
enough.
ESPN Plus in the bundle with Hulu and Disney Plus so I can watch hockey games on Hulu. Guess what I have to do often? That's right. Go to. So, like, it's streaming the same place that the Twisted Metal TV show is. On.
Great. Thank you for that, Jason.
We're going to get demonetized.
Yeah, no kidding, dude.
There was just a landmark copyright infringement case regarding emulators today.
Oh, what was the rule?
Someone made a Nintendo Switch emulator, and they
Yeah.
put it behind like a Patreon paywall, and
Uh-huh.
the court settled that they have to pay Nintendo $2.4 million and also take down their stuff,
So
saying
they
that any
lost.
emulation, even if it is not like actual property, it's just like the system is illegal.
Oof.
Which is fucked.
Nintendo is like, what are they doing? Nobody else can play Cheetah Man. Like, are you gonna make people buy the original hardware to play Cheetah Man?
Actually,
No,
I prefer
just
you
let
didn't.
people
They
emulate
prefer, they
the
prefer
shit.
you buy a new game. They've actually said as much. They prefer that you don't go back and buy old games.
Please, no speed running.
Yeah.
Oh, I got my copy of Mario, baby.
Kicking down Grand Pooh Bear's door and just like destroying his PC.
I got my copy
was
of Mario,
some-
and it's going nowhere.
There was some video game that like offered ran a speedrun competition for their new game. With like a big cash prize. It was like a $10,000 cash prize or something to like whoever managed to get the best record in a certain period of time. And so glitch hunters went crazy and found a bunch of glitches, and they just like patched those glitches out after the thing was over. So they basically
That's
paid $10K
amazing.
I've seen
They paid
all those
10K
QA.
for like. Oh,
Well, I've
man,
seen-
that's
yeah,
amazing.
I've seen a
That's
lot of games.
crowdsourcing, baby.
Well, games patch out the bugs a lot now because they don't
Yeah.
want to be broken. Like, there's a number of the new Mario games that have been patched within the first couple weeks,
I
just
still have
completely
my-
removing bugs.
I still have my Tears of the Kingdom on 1.1, so I still have the duplication glitch.
But it's so funny. You could pay one of those glitch hunters like $300,000 a year, and it would be super worth it. But they're like, why don't you just do it for free, you stupid know-it-all?
Well, they will. So that's what they do. All right, let's move on. Before we get out of here this week, we want to give a shout out to our sponsor, mtgstocks.com, which is, of
Do we
course,
really just have the one sponsor?
One of our sponsors.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Our number one sponsor, Dropout.tv.
We want to give a shout out to MTG Stocks as one of our sponsors, who is the best financial information you can find on the internet. Look at the premium side. You can set up custom alerts, custom tracking. It is really all the tools you need to stay up to date and ahead of the market, which is where this next segment comes in, because we use MTG Stocks to frame our picks of the week.
Pick of the week, pick of the week, pick of the week. Time for the pick of the week.
Harvey McGinnis is writing for Commander's Herald, and he will be soon writing for Cardsphere. So check out Harvey's other articles on mtgstocks.com. See, it has something for everybody. Plus, I designed a couple of the tools that we use on that website, MTG Stocks. It's a great place. Fantastic resource.
That's right.
Now
Check
I'm
it out.
overselling. I'm sorry. I just
Well, all right. Well, why don't you sell us on your pick,
Fantastic
Jason?
resource.
Yeah.
Rads.
Maybe so.
Nuka-Cola.
My
What?
pick of the who's doing it first? I can't tell whose turn it is, and I'm like,
Whoever wants to go.
Great. I have a penny stock pick. Love me some bulk rares. 3 Blind Mice from Wilds of Eldraine makes mice tokens. Copies your tokens and then gives your creatures a buff. It's giving crappy History of Numenalia or whatever that card was called. And notably, we have a spoiler for Bloomburrow of a legendary creature that says mice you control get +1/+1. Now, I'm not sure if a mouse token counts as a mice. I assume it does.
Yeah,
but...
one. If you have 2 or more, it's mice. But if you have 1 mouse token, it doesn't.
I'm sure they're just going to put a note into the rules that just says it, and then it is. Release note.
I grew up watching right-wing YouTube videos, and I think that every argument is semantics based. Mice are not the same as 1 mouse, and snowballs disprove global warming. So there you go.
True.
Let me paint a picture for you here about these 3 Blind Mice. All right, this card, bulk rare. There's copies available for minuscule amounts. Go item price only. We have 4-cent copies. We got 9-cent copies.
Nice.
You throw in the TCG Player Ultimate Kickback for 8% back. You can get 1,000 of these for like $100. Throw them in the back of your closet. They print 20 good mice. This card turns out to not be that good. You own a bunch of bulk rares. That's the worst case scenario. Best case scenario, mice typo's broken. You put all your 3 blind mice.
If this card said rats, it would be good already. I'm just saying.
Right. We just need like 4 good mice payoff or something that makes a really cool token standard. Buy bulk rares. They're cheap. And sometimes you make money on them. But not Niv Magus Elemental. Never Niv Magus Elemental.
Especially if you go up to people at a GP and say bulk rare, and then you pick hot list cards out of the binders.
And it's 2010. That's the key to that strategy, I think.
Yeah. Obviously, it's got to be 2010. Yeah.
All right, I'll hop in here next. I've got a standard card, but it's a card that actually she's playing more than standard. And one that was weirdly kind of important at the Pro Tour last weekend. If you were a blue-white player and you found yourself in need of, a creature so you could pay the ward cost on Vein Ripper to get it off the board, you might find Restless Anchorage to be pretty important to you.
That's a Fallout DLC. Restless Anchorage? For sure. That was when the Alaskans fought the Chinese. I remember that.
Sure, dude.
Oh, it's Project Anchorage. Never mind. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, this is the Universes Within version of that. It's from Lost Caverns of Ixalan. It's just a blue-white land for 3 mana. It can become a 2/3 flyer that when it attacks you, create a map token, which of course allows you to explore something. But this was important in the blue-white decks for a lot of different reasons. It pressures planeswalkers. It, like I said, can get thrown under the bus if you need to target a Vein Ripper. But it's also really important in standard. And as far as the creature lands go, this seems to be the one that's making the most impact. It's climbed up from about $1.50 to about $2.50, $3 here in the past week. And I think it's probably going to keep going to be at least $5. So Restless Anchorage, LCI, which was already last year. You might not believe it. But it's been a long time. It's been 6 months.
It's really funny how we got a new cycle.
6 months ago?
Yeah. We got a new cycle of creature lands in standard, and it turns out the blue-white one's really good, the blue-black one's really good. The red-black one is the worst one of the cycle.
Yeah.
Classic.
Some things changed, some things stayed the same.
But now we have Slowgurk with creature lands in Ottawara and Takanuma.
There was a minute where that red one saw play, right?
I've been on Slowgurk since
Vampires.
It was spoiled.
We go in Vampires decks. Yeah.
I actually have a player who plays at my store. He is first and second place the last 2 Eternal weekends. Jay Wojciechowski. I talk about him a lot. He played 4-color Slowgurk Legends at the standard RC last year, before it was playable.
Which 4 colors? Redless?
I think he was playing Redless. Yeah, he had Skrelv in his deck. It was not good.
Well, now 68 card Slowgurk is the standard deck of choice.
A man ahead of his time.
And all of the Bosaijus are in the sideboard of that deck. There was 0 main deck Bosaijus. That was the funniest part for me.
Well, I watched the finals of them winning the standard showdown, and their opponent had already played them once in the tournament and got crushed. And they knew how dead they were. So they were just laughing in game 1. It was turn 4. The Slowgurk player had 9 lands in play or something. And the player they were playing against was just laughing. I came over to look at the deck and they were talking to me about it. They were just having a good time because they knew They were drawing dead against that monstrosity.
Imagine being unable to beat Splendid Reclamation.
Yep.
Was the finals Jarvis and CFT Sock?
It wasn't Jarvis. It was CFT Sock, yes. It was somebody else, though. Jarvis
Okay. I
lost.
knew Jarvis
in
top
the
eighted.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, somebody, like the head judge of it, called me over and was like, Corbin, you
Iron
gotta
Man's
check this
Butler
out.
got top 8 of a tournament.
No, Jarvis, you notable Maryland local hero.
Bro, everyone loves Jarvis, Jason.
I know Jarvis. You get out of here.
Jarvis clap.
We know each other so well. I call him Jarvis us.
Ah, one of my favorite GP stories is when for Jarvis's birthday, a lot of his friends showed up dressed as different versions of Jarvis's, and it was incredible to surprise him while everyone was playing a GP. It was very, very, very nice. But yeah, so shout out there.
One of the lost relics to time and the inexorable march of domains expiring is there used to be a Mike Flores and Jarvis U soundboard. I think Eric Klug was the one who maintained them.
Yeah.
They were delightful. You had so many good things like Jarvis saying Dartmouth. Let's get those back. Petition to get those back. Give me back the soundboards.
Petition to somehow interject my pick of the week.
Let's hear it, Jason.
Cunning Lethamancer.
Ooh, what's that do? I remember that one.
Is that
It's
from
an
Alara?
Alara card. Yeah.
On your upkeep, each player discards. So it's not every player's upkeep, every player discards or whatever. Like, it's just a real fair card. This has been not a bulk rare since Nekusar days. And you're like, hey, Cunning Lethamancer, that peaked at like 10. Why is it $4 right now? Well, because the last time they printed a Tiny Bones, it was a up magic card. And this Tiny Bones, not as bad. You have to hit them, but also you can play their stuff. It's okay. So they went a little too far. Being like, anytime they discard or sacrifice, you get it. If you can play their stuff and you have to pay mana for it, very fair.
Yeah.
I'm already putting Snow Swamps in basically all of my black decks because I like Draugr Necromancer that much.
Yeah, you
So,
should play
like,
Blood on the Snow too, Jason.
I mean, who don't?
Yeah.
So if you're gonna play Tiny Bones, and you should, because playing their spells out of their graveyard is absolutely lit. Cunning Lethamancer is going to fill their graveyards with cards, and it is below $5 for now, but it'll go back up. Only one printing, and every couple of years they print something that benefits you immensely from them discarding. And now the cards that they're printing that do that are like fair and not ridiculous.
Yeah, so people
like,
actually...
you're not making a Turgrid. If you Turgrid's in your command zone, people are just like, all right, you're going to be dead before you have 3 mana.
Yep. Well, that's
But
so...
like with
if
Tiny
you play
Bones, you're like, I'm just a little Bones. I'm just doing bone stuff, tee-hee. And everyone's like, how adorable.
That's like a
Turgid
really
remains in your
interesting...
command zone for more than 4 hours. Please see a medical provider.
Doctor, I'm completely Turgrid.
They shouldn't... I hope they've learned their lesson on things like that, because
They haven't. 'Cause they
I
still-
almost never
There's
run into
fucking purple
Turgrids.
mana in Fallout. They have learned nothing. There's
I almost... Look, I never run it... I very rarely play against a Turgrid, because everyone just gets killed if they play Turgrid.
I don't even put Turgrid in the 99 of decks.
Exactly.
anymore.
You're just going to get targeted. It's going to die.
You're
It
gonna
costs
get
5
targeted.
mana. Yes, you are. Thank you. In general, there's a number of cards like that, and I think they're boring, and Commander self-corrects pretty well to just target that player.
I find that like people I vibe with already call cards like that boring, but if you try to explain to somebody that does not understand why that card is boring, why it's boring, like you just sound like a casual idiot who's like, don't target my stuff. I don't want to play interactive Magic, but it's just like
No land death, no
Turgid's like,
counterspells.
No
I death
land death.
clouded with Turgid and the game's over.
We need to bring back Land
Right.
Death. That's the best.
We actually don't need to
Yes.
bring back land death.
Yeah? What? As a term, it's so good.
Let's talk about Magic the Gathering. Or
Let's
maybe
finish
end the
this thing.
podcast.
Yeah,
A
let's finish
children's
this thing.
card into podcast forever, please.
All right, let me come back in here with
Please.
this.
I feel like I feel like it's
Every
a
week-
Greek tragedy. I'm like, I have the hubris to start a podcast, and they're like, okay, but you have to do it forever. And at some points, this podcast feels like an eagle pecking out my liver. That's all I'll say.
Someone at the store asked me last week, was like, oh, I listen to the podcast because I assume it supports you. And I'm like, actually, you watching or not watching does not affect my personal enrichment from the podcast. And they're like, oh, so what do you get out of it? And I was like, I get to hang out with my friend DJ and my friend Jason and my friend Corbin. And that's all I get out of it. And they're like, couldn't you just do that without recording a podcast? And I'm like, damn, you're so much smarter than the four of us.
I'm trying to think of what we get out of the podcast.
I got this chair.
1099s to people. That was
I got
what
this.
we get out of it.
I got
a
this
huge
chair.
tax liability.
Look, I got this chair.
That's true. We needed you to get that chair.
We do this podcast so that JJ can get paid and that Anderson can get paid.
I agree.
Yeah.
And people like it. I like that people like this,
And people whose mothers do brain surgery like our merch.
Mm-hmm. All right.
And I legit have so many of these glasses.
I love these dice that we made. That's why I do
You got the pink ones. I got the pink ones too.
The pink
They're
ones are
brain
cool.
colored. How
I
fucking
love
cool is
those.
that?
I
They
hate
are cool.
that the logo is on the 6 though. I like preferring the logos on the 1.
I DJ's like they won't.
You gotta
do that
be a
for
high
pink.
roll.
And I was like, I could not care less what number the face is on, and everybody but me cares.
The one that I got, the Rodney's Dice, the Himawari company, the 1 is the sunflower, and so it looks like a single pip, and it looks really nice.
Yeah.
That's tight.
Yeah. Makes sense.
A brain should be 6.
Well, you can check out all of our merch and more at patreon.com/BSB. But
I have
also,
so many water bottles. We should just start giving them to people for wanting.
we can do giveaways. We should. How about in the Jason? You got the wheels turning for next week. Check back in next week, everybody. We'll have a giveaway.
If you
ready
listen
to
to
go
the
with a water
cast
bottle.
and you go on Twitter and you tag at Jason Ealt and tell him your favorite improv comic, one of those people will be randomly selected to get a Brainstorm Brewery water bottle.
There you go. Written down.
They're telling me you should actually write out some improv like Eddie Izzard pretends to.
Okay. Oh. Well, everybody, we thank everyone who supports us at patreon.com/BSB. We also want to give a shout out to a sponsor, Coalesce Apparel and Design. You can use the gift code Brainstorm Brewery to get 10% off your order there for our merch or anyone else's. And like we said, we appreciate it because it allows us to make this podcast possible, including all the staff on the back end that bring it to you. So
All the brands we've outlasted on coalesceapparel.com.
no, we can't.
You think,
we can't.
Shiv'em has got to be more popular than you
can't.
guys. Nope.
We literally can't.
EDH Rec? Nope. We're more popular than fucking EDH Rec
It's
on
about.
coalesceapparel.com. Do you believe that shit?
It's about.
How many people listen to our podcast? Do we know? Is
The
it
people who
10,000
listen, we do know, and it's not as many as you would hope.
Is it like 300 people maybe?
No,
Yeah,
it's
a couple
thousands.
hundred.
It's thousands.
There's thousands of people who listen to this podcast?
We've done the
Couple
numbers.
thousand.
We've done the numbers at some point in the past cast, and at our height, we were getting 10K downloads a month. I bet it's
Oh, a
a
month,
frack. I
not
bet
per
it-
episode. Okay.
No, we were
No,
getting
Mom.
10K an episode at our peak. It's
Man,
probably 10K a
I-
month now.
I don't think it's. I bet it's much less than that now. Because
That's so many people. To all of you people who listen to this podcast, all of you disgusting sicko freaks, I thank you. You're valid.